Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a very pleasant good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the hottest spot in town. It is Thursday. You have stepped into Sunshine's Corner, where you are always welcome. You know what? This is the place we have all the conversation that sometimes people don't want to have. And of course, you know this, we have the conversation that should be had. And today it is one that we should have had a long time ago. I got to tell the story, Maggie. I was sitting there wondering, this had happened, that had happened. And I said, let me call Maggie. Then something else happened that night. Oh my God, was it a transition that day. But then all of a sudden it hit me. Let's teach people how to buy a house. Let's teach people it's time to invest. And I thought about my good friend Maggie. And I said, let me call Maggie and see what she come in and share some of these ideas. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning. How are you, Sunshine?
I'm doing
You're always great.
That's great as I can be. Well, listen, I thank you for agreeing to do this with me, because I look at things today with the economy, with the world, how things are happening, but I also look at the thing where people just spending money over and over and over and over and over, but it's not yours.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over, but it's not yours. So when are you going to invest in yourself? I think about the plan. You could tell us all about that, because I went through and I came up with so many questions so we could educate the people on how to buy a house.
Okay.
And I mean, but Maggie, you know, we were talking before we went on. We think that sometimes there are fears that keep people from going in that area.
There are. So we're talking about buying a home, the biggest investment anybody can make for most of us.
Of course.
And it can be fearful. And so one of the first things that I suggest people do is get in touch with a real estate agent that you can trust. Now, if you're a buyer, you can sign a contract with an agent that they're going to work for your best interest.
Exactly.
They're going to give you advice. They're going to lead you in the direction of other professionals that can help you through the process.
Right.
They can support you with their knowledge.
Exactly.
And they can show you the homes that you need to see, and they can hold your hand through the process of getting approved for the mortgage. They're not mortgage professionals, but they know the mortgage professionals.
Exactly.
And all of the professionals that you need all the way through the closing table.
What do you think the most fearful thing is for people when they look at, $200,000, and if you want a nice home, $500,000. Okay? If you want that, you've got to really step in there. Do you think it's that great big number that somewhat caused reluctance, that they sit back and say, well, I don't know if that's a lot of money?
It could be. It could be looking at 30 years worth of payments.
Yes.
It could be, I just don't like debt. I don't want to be in debt. But we all have to have a place to live.
Don't you?
And why should we have that place to live that we're paying for somebody else?
That's what I say it all the time. You're making somebody else rich.
Look, I went to a house the other day, and the gentleman there, he was a tenant, but the owner's selling the house. And the tenant said to me, well, can we take all the payments that I've been making for these 5 years, and can we make that my down payment? Can I buy this house? Well, the answer is no.
No.
That money's gone.
He was renting.
He was renting, and and the seller is selling the house, so the tenant's going to have to go somewhere else if the new owner doesn't want to continue
he thought
to
he
rent.
could take what he had been paying for rent toward it.
And just roll it into
doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And people just don't know. But like I said, you have to have a place to live, and that's going to cost you something.
Exactly. And when you look at apartments now, Maggie, $1,500. Now, if you want a $1,600 apartment, you're going to get a $600 apartment.
Right. If you can find one.
If you can find one. Because even the ones that are even lower, you can barely find today.
Right.
But the fact, what I'm trying to say is, I think that when we educate people, I'd rather see people invest in a 30-year mortgage. You think about how long you've been living out there, how much these past 20 years, what you paid, that you could have had, you only had 10 years left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like what I found out, I make a payment every time. I make it twice a month. And that has knocked off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning.
Yeah.
When you make that payment more than once, if you find the money, do it. But how can we get people to understand? Okay, getting started, preparing for ownership. The first steps, let's go down the first step, what we try to get up. Okay. Oh, hi Maggie, I want to buy a house.
Okay. First thing we want to do is talk to that agent. Like I said, have somebody representing you.
Okay.
And you can sign that contract with the agent, then they can represent you as the buyer.
Right.
Now, one of the things you're going to have to do is get credit ready. You got.
That's the part I want you to bring out right there. Get that credit ready.
Right.
Because
that's
otherwise,
You're going to have to take a look at that credit report and see there might be something outstanding that you don't even know about. There might be something that you need to pay down in order to get your bills in line so that you can qualify for the loan. And you need to take a look at, here's what I would suggest. You talk about that big number, the $200,000. Look at what you're going to pay in rent for 30 years.
Thank you.
See what that number's going to be.
Oh, God.
And see, do I want to do this and have something at the end, or do I want to do this and have nothing at the end?
Exactly. And I mean, and I think that thing, some people, when you say credit report,
we don't want people up in our business.
No.
And that's okay.
But it's okay. But let me tell you what I did. A person, when I first bought my first house, she said, come on, let's pull your credit. We need to see where we're going to go. And I said, okay. She said, you're ready. I just need you to work on a couple things. She said, now we're going to start looking, but by the time I want you to get this taken care of, you're going to be ready. Don't expect that you're going to go in there and find the house today, you in it tomorrow.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Right.
And but what she walked me through, and I got that taken care of, and then, I mean, it was just having fun. And the fun part, Maggie, is when you're out searching.
Is it?
I
You
think
like
that's
that part?
I do,
Okay.
when you go see, and it's like, they say, oh, I'm qualified for this much. I can go over with this much. And I had a plan, you know. But you see, that's what I tell people, get a plan together when to get that credit, right, if there's something there.
Right.
You can't go in there, I was driving this weekend, I heard this man do a commercial. He said, well, if you want to call, you can get, if you got a credit rating of 400, he said, 400? It was, but he said, I had never heard anything like that. I mean, but in the commercial, he was bringing the attention, you got to have more than 400 to get it up there. So don't be with that person that you're talking to. If I'm going to be, you're going to be there with me, you're going to get to know a lot about me.
Right.
So I got to trust you with getting that 400 up to 700.
Up to 700.
You know?
And you got to think about that down payment too. A lot of times you're going to have a down payment. Now, I'm not going to get into all the different kind of mortgages that there are and all the different lending opportunities, but you're typically going to have something down. Even if it's just your moving expenses and turning on the utilities, there are costs associated with that. You need to work to figure out what those are going to be too.
Exactly.
Who's moving with you? Are you moving and the kids are going to be going off to college? Is it just going to be you? Is it going to be you and your partner? Well, and that's another thing to think about. Who's going to pay this mortgage? Who's going to be on the names? Is it going to be him and her? Is it just going to be one? There's a lot to consider.
I got an off the wall question when you just said that. Do you have people that are single? Moving, buying an investment like that? And they want to put both names on the...
Yes, and that can be done. There's some legal things, you know, to consider then. There's couples who are married and one of them want the mortgage in one name and not in, you can have the mortgage in one name and have, you know, the property in two, or different things. There are different things to be considered that you don't think about.
Not that I want anybody's name on mine,
Well,
but
sometimes one person's credit is really good and one is not. Sometimes there's a reason for wanting things the way they are. When you think about people who have been married more than one time and their children, and there might be some inheritances and all kind of things, it can get pretty complicated. But we're not typically talking about that for a first-time home buyer, maybe. Yeah.
Something went across my head. Somebody can do that. Okay, now first-time home buyers, there are ways that they can get. Are there ways they can get help with their down payments?
There are ways that they can get help with their down payments. There are different kind of loans out there, and there are builders now who are offering to close. They can offer closing costs. They can offer lower interest rates. Yes, builders are really trying to get their houses sold. I mean, we have a lot of houses going on unsold here. I looked a couple of days ago when we first talked about me coming on, and there are over 2,000 houses on the market. Now that's in all price ranges, but that's a lot of houses
2,000
out there. Yes. So that's in our MLS. So that's
MLS?
That's a multi-listing service. That's where all we realtors go.
See how
and
we
put
learn
our-
that?
and
Multi-listing
put-
service? Okay.
That's my shorthand. Yeah, but that's where we list all the houses that are for sale, so that if other agents have a buyer that they want to bring, that they could see my house that's promoted out, and then I can see the houses for other people, and that's how we share information to
Do
know
you really?
what's out there. And for a buyer, here's a good tip for a buyer. If you think you're interested to be a homeowner, go to realtor.com, homes.com, Zillow. Look at that. Don't take that as the gospel, but get an idea of what kind of house you want, the location you want to be in, the neighborhood you're thinking about. See if it's in a price range that you think you can afford, even before you go talk to an agent. I will say that those locations aren't as up to date as the information your realtor will have, as the information that the multi-listing service will have.
Right.
But it's a place to kind of, if you're nervous about the whole process, just go, while you're watching TV at night and see the information that's out there. You might be surprised at what you can afford.
Absolutely. I mean, when you say Zillow, I always go back and check my house to see what Zillow says about my house.
Yes. And do you agree with it all the time?
I am in agreement.
Okay, that's good. Some people don't, but it is a reality check for some people.
And that, with Zillow, I mean, I see the value. You may say, "Oh, really?" But I say, "Oh, really?"
That's right.
I mean, but and when you say location, location, I think is a big factor when you're buying a home.
It is a big factor in pricing. It is a big factor, though, for where you want to live. When I was driving to Atmore every day for work, I wanted to be closer. The location I wanted was closer to Atmore.
Exactly.
It was not somewhere downtown that added to my commute every day.
Exactly.
So think about those things. If you're looking at your perfect neighborhood, what does that look like in your lifestyle? Are your kids going to be going to the same school that they are currently in? Is that a good thing for you, or do you want to move schools? There's just a lot of factors to consider before you even start. And if you're going to drag your agent around to 40 or 50 houses, that's not fair to anybody, because you forget what you looked at.
Exactly.
Your agent has, to make some money. They can't be your taxi service. But have an idea of what you want.
Exactly. Believe me, I did. I mean, every time I said, "Oh, hey, can we go look at this?" Do you mind if we go look at this? I mean, because these were the things, but it was the location was my thing.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if I could have taken the house that I was in and moved it to another location, I would have been as happy as I could be. But it doesn't work that way. So it took me a while. But I had a plan, though. I knew when I bought this one what I was working toward to get the next one.
Right.
Then I had another plan with that one to buy my dream home. So when I had a number of years I was going to stay there, then, believe it or not, it happened in the middle of COVID when I bought my dream home. The rate went down.
Nice.
And I bought it then. And now it took me 8 years. Did you hear that? 8 years. It doesn't happen overnight.
That's right.
You have to have a plan. What do you think? What is the potential? What should a potential buyer know about saving for their down payment?
Save as much as you can save. But you're going to have 5-10% down. Typically, again, there are situations that you can buy a brand new construction home. You won't have those closing costs. You can ask the seller to cover some of those costs.
Right.
And sellers can even buy down the interest rate. That means that you come to a lower interest rate that you're going to be paying over those 30 years or those 15 years. But again, those are things that you need to talk to your lender about. So there are options out there.
When you say buy down the interest rate.
So instead of the seller reducing the price by $10,000, they pay basically simply $10,000 towards your interest over that life of that loan, and they pay it up front. Like you said, you're paying every 2 weeks basically on your mortgage. You're paying your interest early is what you're doing.
Exactly.
So if you can pay that down or buy down the rate is in simple terms what they're doing.
I got you.
So that's it can get pretty complicated, and the reason that it's complicated is because lenders and other people who are in the industry are trying to make it easy and feasible for buyers to get into a house, and quite frankly for sellers to sell homes these days, because that's gotten a little more complicated too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, we're learning something. I'm still learning, and I don't plan to buy another one. But we're learning a lot of things. But I hope that you're taking these notes, because there are a lot of people that should be. I think I want you to get out of these rentals and buy something of your own. Purchase something that you can have what legacy you could leave for your children or your grandchildren that can start them off. You know what I'm saying? Right. So please stay with us right here, because we're going to talk with Maggie. I got a whole list of questions we're going to talk about, so you will have a clear understanding of the process of purchasing. No, or should I say, investing in you right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
For the past 5 years, Blab TV has worked with the McCullough Institute and Plastic Surgery Clinic here in Gulf Shores to get our message out to the public. Blab TV works. I am Dr. Galen McCullough, and I am Blab TV.
I'm Kathy Holsworth, Artistic Director at Pensacola Little Theater. Join me on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. for the Center Stage, where me and my artistic friends talk about all things on the stage and at the Clark Family Cultural Center. Join us, won't you?
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner. We're having a great conversation today about you becoming a homeowner, first-time homeowner. And let me tell you, it's such a joy when you get that key. No, when you go to that lawyer's office or wherever you got to go, and you sign it on that much paper, and when you sign that, you feel so good that, oh wow, this is mine.
Right.
I'm walking into this is going to be mine. I don't have to call somebody if I want to change the wallpaper. I don't have to call somebody if I want to take the carpet up. I can do this on my own because I'm working toward, this is my investment.
That's true.
And we were talking about the fact of how do you know when a person really thinks, okay, if I have, what's the key to let them know that they are financially ready?
Well, talk to a mortgage lender.
Okay.
After you have secured that real estate agent who can help you with choices, decisions that you need to make. As you mentioned, the location might be perfect, then it's not the perfect house.
Right.
That's probably going to happen in every situation.
Yes,
There's
it does.
very seldom that perfect location with the perfect house, with all the perfect things, with the perfect price point. You have to make some choices. And you have to make decisions not only financially, but emotionally.
Exactly.
So if you've talked to your lender, and you're going to have to be pre-qualified before you're going to be able to offer to place an offer on a house. Your lender is going to help you with that. And the lender may tell you you're qualified for X amount of money, and you say, I don't want X amount of money, I want this smaller amount of money because I want a lifestyle that supports travel
get into
or
what I
whatever.
have.
It will depend. And you may want to make some sacrifices. You may want to sell this big nice car over here so you'll be more liquid.
And drive that little putt-putt because you can't live in that putt-putt.
That's right. Those are choices to be made, and that emotionally is going to have to be a family decision.
Absolutely.
What you're ready to do.
And let me say something. I want to say something to single women. Do it.
Oh my, yes, that is one of my great joys, is to help women who have been through a divorce,
That's
don't
me.
have anything.
That's me.
That was me. That was
That's me.
And now I got. And you talk about, you know, whose name's on the mortgage, whose
Come
name's
on.
on the title. Me
Mine.
and only me. Me and only me.
Me and only me.
And then the next step is to help those women get into a situation where they can invest.
Exactly.
And they can rent out a property to somebody else. They can get a flip house. They can buy
Yes.
land and hold it, and all those things. That is one thing that really gives me a lot of joy.
Exactly.
That and helping first-time home buyers.
Exactly.
Move into
And you know,
something.
when you say flip a house, I did that in Alabama.
Did you?
Yes. And what I'm saying is, though, I mean, ladies, gentlemen, step out there. Don't ever say I can't.
Right.
Say that I'm going to find a way that I can.
Right.
Look
Right.
for ways that you can
That's right. That's right.
instead of saying that you're not, because I never thought that I would do that, but I did. And it's all about having somebody that can guide you,
Right.
walk you through, and show you how to make
And
the
educate.
right
And
decision.
educate.
And you
Educate.
don't lose it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You keep
Right.
that with you. And that's what I think is so important about this right here, because today, with the world how it is today, get something of your own.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that you should have something of your own. I mean, don't worry about, okay, stop buying them the accessories and only get necessities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love Jordan, but I'm not gonna give Jordan no $200 no tennis shoes.
He's got his own.
He's got his own. I'm not gonna give him that. That's
right.
something go
That's
toward
right.
me. You know?
Right. Right.
That's something I go toward. I say that because you need to. I think when we look at things logically, there was a guy who said, I was reading this book. He said, we go out to buy things that we can't afford to impress people that we don't know.
Mm-hmm. And that's so true. That is so true.
That is crazy.
It is. It
You're
is.
going out, you buy things that you can't afford to impress people that you don't know. And you buying these things over here, you making Jordan and all those other guys. I use that because I see these people with these 4 or 5, these here are the, something they'll call them. I said, my shoe feels just as well as yours.
And is that going to be a roof over your head?
Thank you.
In 30 years.
Exactly. And that
You know?
check on that shoe, you want me to draw you one? I mean, I'm just saying,
$200,
Maggie.
right.
I mean, it's a way of doing things. And I think that, and when you become financially stable, if you want to go out and buy your pair, good, but don't go out there and put that before your house.
But I do think, too, to go a little bit deeper on that, some of this is generational. Some people's parents, grandparents didn't have a home.
Exactly.
Well, maybe it's time for you to be
break
the
it.
one who has that home. And it may be just information. It may be that you can afford it, you just don't know it. It might not be as hard, as expensive as you think. There are
Absolutely.
ways to make it happen.
Absolutely.
You might have to sacrifice some Jordans or something else. You might not.
Exactly.
You just don't know until you educate yourself. And again, I go back to working with the professionals who do know, who
Exactly.
can guide you through the process, who can help you find the answers, and then you can decide for yourself,
Most
is this for
certainly.
me? Or do I want a smaller place? Do I want a place that's further out from town? What do I need? Do I need a 5-bedroom house that's $500,000?
Yes.
No, maybe we start out with a smaller something, grow that. Maybe we rent that out to somebody else when we make our next step.
Exactly.
And then you have moved into a legacy that you can leave your children or somebody else
Exactly.
when you're gone.
And I tell you, when you mention that, and I say this because you guys know I've been divorced for a while. And I thank God that He has taught me so much. But when you're talking about even renting, I did that.
Yeah.
Because there's a process.
Yes.
And when I was renting the other home, I mean, come on. And when the person that was working with me, the agent, took me through this process, well, you can do it like this. And then maybe you ought to try renting. And it worked.
Right.
It worked. And I say that, do something for yourself. Grow and get your own home. I just want to see everybody in their own home. When you experience that, my, and you want to go even further than just that. You know what I'm saying? You want to buy even more. Maggie, what type of home loans are available? You want to mention those?
No, I would put you in touch with a mortgage professional. I do know those persons. There are also, I just wanted to mention, sometimes you can borrow a down payment from a family member. You can get private lenders. Yeah. An individual who, in the interest rate will probably be a little bit more, that will help you get into that home. Right. You know, the mortgage. I do want to say, be very cautious if you're going into something where the lender is a private individual who is financing that mortgage. Be careful to read that contract. If it says you miss one payment and they own your home, that's not a good place to be. That's not a good place to be.
Okay, so sometimes they'll do that and if you miss one payment, they got the house back.
Yes, yes.
And do it to somebody else.
Yes.
Wow.
That can happen, so that's why I say you really need to work with a professional. This is going to be probably the biggest investment anybody makes, as we mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
And it's important to protect that from the front.
Exactly. And I always tell everybody, this is something my mother always said to me. She said, baby, keep your own. Always have something for yourself. Mm-hmm. Even though I've been married, she said, always keep something for you. Get something of your own.
Right.
And I say that because I want to tell people that, I mean, like, because when you said that possibly if you're with a person and their credit is here and you got the good credit, keep that in your head.
Right.
Why that credit so bad?
Right, and do you want them on the title?
Do you want them on that title and you know they got a problem?
And you on the mortgage.
Thank you. These are all things that you need to think about.
Think these things through, yes, and have somebody who can say, ooh,
yeah,
you know.
Light bulb, because when you're at that stage, why is that credit so low?
Well, even in a divorce situation.
Thank you.
If the divorce
don't go down that road.
If the divorce says one person gets the house, the other person does not, that does not override the real estate law that says y'all going to split this money when the house gets sold. It doesn't matter if it's years down the road. So there's something else to know.
So much you can steal. I won't say what I started to say. My ex, I won't say that. But it's the fact of it is, we're talking ways that you can invest in yourself, and I think that it's so important that we do. How can working with a real estate agent make the process easier with a person who think they know?
Well,
have you run into people like that?
People who think they know everything about the market. It's easy to do. There's so much information out there. Like I said, though, Zillow, we had a situation kind of recently where Zillow was saying all these areas are flood zones, and so people from out of the area weren't wanting to move here. Well, guess what? We know that it might flood if we have a hurricane.
Exactly.
And we know these things as a local agent. Somebody that you can trust, somebody who can work with your personality. You might want somebody, if you need to see 30 houses, you need to find yourself a new agent who has time for that and who is learning the neighborhoods with you and who can go back to the office, you know, when it's time to negotiate and get advice from their coworkers who are more experienced in those areas. But typically an agent who has been established for some time just cannot do that. They have other, listings that have to manage. I didn't make it to 30,
they have to, Meg, I didn't get that quite.
I have shown 42, that was my top, 42 homes. I was working in a second home community, which Pensacola is largely that. I was not working here at the time. And these people would just come up on the weekends and we go look at houses and we go look at another neighborhood. But they didn't know the area. They were, and every time, they'd come back a month later, well, all the houses we looked at were sold, and so then we'd have to start through the process again.
30 more.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, that, like I said, that's good for a new agent. That might be something that you look at if you really need to look at that many homes. But I suggest you go online, like I said, mention some of the resources. Start to look, go to realtor.com. Be sure that it's a neighborhood that you like. Drive out to the neighborhood. See if you're on the way to something you don't like.
And if you ever click it on Facebook, you'll get a house popped up on your page every day.
Yes.
If you go to Facebook and you see a house on it, so many people are going to be hitting you on that page.
Absolutely. Go to open houses.
Exactly.
See the inside of the homes that you think might be in your price range. You might go, oh, this is not the kind of space I want to live in. I need to rent a little longer till I can get a place that meets my standards.
Right.
You might have to go, okay, my standards aren't going to be this for right now. I need to move into a house. I would say don't move into something if you're going to be less than 3 years or so. Or you've got, like I said, you've got some expenses that are going to be involved, moving, utilities and all that sort of thing. So that's going to be, you know, covered if you stay there for about 3 years. I wouldn't say move into something.
Absolutely.
Unless your circumstances are different. Ultimately, your circumstances are unique. And you need to talk over that with your family, with your investment advisor if you have one, and with your real estate agent to see what meets your circumstances in this point in your life, because that will change over a lifetime too.
Most certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a great conversation. Please, if you've got questions, if you've got concerns about purchasing a home, I think today's the day you need to call. And if you're like me, you're writing down notes, you take down notes, and then you know the things that you need to do. We're going to talk more with Maggie right here on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, you know, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
And welcome back to this educational, informational day, this Thursday, right here at Sunshine's Corner. I'm going to say this, because I know they weren't looking at me. If Jimmy would step outside the door for just 1 minute, he'll understand why in a minute, because it's very important. Look at him. Ha, 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 ha. No. Just hand her that phone because we were getting down on it. It's
I thought I had turned this off.
You see,
I obviously did not.
Say hey, Jimmy.
You get a pay raise for that now, Jimmy, right? Because you're on TV.
But everybody, I tell you, we're having a great. See, that's what is so great about Sunshine's Corner. It's all about being open. And look, that this show is a show that we can really have fun and learn.
All right.
It's about being honest about things that we don't usually talk about, even when it comes down to purchasing a home. And I like for somebody who has gone through the process to call us to share what they went through, how they at first, how long did it take them to get their house? What did they do to get their home? And the fact of it is, I know the joy of it is when I got mine. But there was something else you wanted to talk about when we were going to break. You said, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about once you make that offer on that home, there will be a negotiation process. You may have to ask the seller to fix some things. There may be some things that you decide you're going to fix as a compromise for yourself. Like, you don't like that orange paint. It might have been fine, you know, with the furniture for the other people. Yeah, and that's okay. But remember that when you're going in and looking at the homes too, it's not going to be a perfect place. You can ask the seller for things. You can ask them for concessions. You certainly want a home that is safe to move into.
Absolutely.
But those are things that you can negotiate, and then there's some things that you can live with and fix for yourself at a
As you
later
go.
date. So, don't look for the.
Oh, let's tell them about the things that they have to have done. That you have to have certain things checked on the house.
You can have a home inspection. Actually, I'm licensed in Alabama, and here home inspections aren't a standard thing in Alabama. If you buy it, you buy it. It's pretty much buyer beware. So again, if you're moving from another state, know that Florida law is going to be different as far as real estate goes.
Certainly.
Again, you need a professional to help you navigate that. Things that just standardly happen at Michigan might not be the way that we do it here.
Exactly.
So I'll definitely recommend a home inspection and appraisal to be sure that things are as they look. You're certainly going to have
And talk about that wind mitigation thing that they go through for people when they buy.
There's a 4-point wind mitigation inspection report that you'll want to have done just to be sure that things are, again, going to.
It works good with the insurance.
Yes, you're going to have that for your insurance, and you're going to have insurance if you're going to have a mortgage.
That's right.
Something else that I would just touch on for a second is that homeowner's title policy. When you buy title insurance, you are paying for your lender to be assured that if something comes up with the title in the future, if a lien shows up, or a number of other things that were unexpected, then they are covered financially for that. But if you don't have homeowner's title, you're not covered for your equity in that house. So,
say that again.
So the owner's title policy, and that's something that you get into whenever you start to make the purchase.
Right.
But the lender will typically, and the title company will require that a title policy to cover the lender's equity in the home or their investment in the home is covered should there ever come up something that didn't show up in a title search.
Most certainly.
But unless you buy that owner's title, then the owner is not covered if something shows up. So that's something to consider whenever you're looking. I know everybody wants to keep that payment down. They want to keep the cost down.
You got to make an investment. You're doing an investment.
That's right. Consider making that investment and consider that.
And something else that I did that I find that's important. Even with the insurance I purchased on my home, it costs more. But what I want to do, if something happened to me, nothing happens to my house.
Right.
And I would tell anybody, you have to pay more, but it's worth it.
And at the closing table is not the time to be going through that thought process.
Don't go through that. Don't let that hinder you from taking the best step that you can ever take. Is for ownership, not rentership. Ownership of owning something of your own. And I think that's so important for people to find out, to know that. Like I was talking, once the keys get in your hand, it's the best feeling in the world. What's the first step the homeowner should take then?
So there's a couple things. One, be sure that if you haven't already, turned on the power and all those sorts of things and transferred that over to your name, a security system and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to take care of that. And whose name is that going to be in? Again, if you're moving in as partners, who's going to be responsible for the electric? Is the electric going to be in that person's name? Is, all those things are details that you have to think about.
Maggie, I was saying, listen, if I ever got married again, it's no question. He gonna pay for it.
And that's okay as long as everybody's settled on that.
No, we gonna settle. You paying for it, honey.
And you got to turn off all those things at your other location. I don't care if it's an apartment or whatever. You don't want to be continuing to get billed for all the things that
and
are
I'll tell you
there.
something that happened to me, and because of the lack that I didn't know. When I was transferring everything and I had everything transferred and the area where I moved, I didn't know you had 2 places that you had to have it for water. Until I went home one night. I said, what is wrong? I've already paid all my bills. She says to me, I pay all my bills so I have them automatically paying, right? But I didn't know that there was another part. Well, they came right out and turned it back on, but the fact of it is, I did not know that farm here, you had to go through them too. Now, I know, I guarantee they get paid first, but the fact of it is, these are things I'm saying when you get ready to move in. Like, I did not know that. And you might find something because you're so excited about the fact that, it's mine, you're running through the house.
That's right.
But make sure that everything that there is ready. When you're transferring those bills, if it's the first time, getting them in your name, know in the area where you're going.
Right. And your agent will probably have a checklist for you because they know that you won't remember. Also, your homestead exemption. this is your first home, or
That's
if you
right.
get it, for whatever reason you're getting that homestead exemption, be sure that you fill out the paperwork for that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
No
or
doubt.
go online and take care of that.
It's so great to know the terminology you're using, you know, and that feels good, my people. When you do that, I know where she's coming from because you've done that. And it's such a good feeling to own your own. Buy a home, invest, 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 invest. Take your time. Don't say you're going to run and get it in next month, because if you do, you're going to just stay where you are. Do what you got to do to take the necessary steps to own your home, to be that person that has that property that you can work hard for. Find an agent that you trust, an agent that you connect with. And now, because sometimes you get people, I mean, like, it's okay, I'm for a minute. And then the next minute is like, okay, what happened?
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, that bugs me. And get somebody that you can talk to about it that's gonna hold your hand. I don't mean take it like a baby, but gonna walk you through the process, because they know that this is something that's going to be special and good for you as well as the agent, because then she's gonna tell somebody else about you.
Right. And just get your toe in the water, I would say. Just go look and begin, so you're not afraid of it, so you know the terminology, so you can ask the questions, so you can be aware of some of the things that you need to consider.
And don't be afraid to ask a question because you think it's dumb. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask.
That's right. That you will not be the first one who has asked the question.
I'm telling you.
And the answer may have changed since the last time you bought a house, by the way, because the market is changing. Where you used to live may not be the same. You know, real estate is just changing, and Pensacola is changing and growing. That affects things too.
God.
That affects a lot of things, and your life circumstance has changed.
9 Mile Road is growing so much.
I cannot get here soon enough today because the traffic was so bad.
I come from that way too.
Yeah.
And it's so, I can't believe, when I think about it, that used to be a 2-lane. I can't imagine that not being 4. Because how did 2-lane traffic get through there?
It's as
and I
busy
used to
now.
go that way to take my child to school, right? How is it? Oh my goodness. But Maggie, what are some of the common mistakes that people make in purchasing or applying for a loan to get their home?
Well, not just for applying for a loan, but not taking action. Just paying that rent for all those years. You have to make a step. You may have to make some sacrifices. Like I said, you may have to give up the nicer car for a minute until you start building equity in that house. And when you see that equity's going up, that value of the house is going up, and what you owe on it's going down, that is a really comforting feeling too.
Tell me about it.
When you see the value of the home growing, not only because of what you're paying down for it, but because just the market in general is growing.
Exactly.
You know, selling a house for 1 or 2 times or 2 or 3 times what you have paid for it. Oh my goodness.
I know how that feels.
What a great investment. Plus, you have had, you know, warmth and coolness and all the things that you get with a house, a roof over your head and all that during that time without paying the rent. And it's going back into your pocket, it's going back into the legacy of your family and that generational wealth. That's what makes a difference.
I love that, generational wealth.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What should buyers look for when closing? Now, like with me, because I'm all about location. Okay, when a buyer is looking, don't go running all over town everywhere, because I think that you're going to show 50 houses. How do you choose that community? Where can they go online to find out the information about the community, HOAs? Because I think I love the fact HOA communities. Because there's a standard there.
Some people won't buy in an HOA, will not look at an HOA because they've had a bad experience. They don't want somebody telling them what shade of green they can paint their house. So everybody's different, so that they're not going to be your neighbors. You want the HOA and your neighbors want the HOA and these people don't. So there's a good factor right there. Do you want an HOA or do you not? How much acreage do you want? The schools are a factor for some people. My daddy would not have lived on in the community and the lot that I live and that I enjoy, because he wanted acreage, that privacy. So everybody's different. Think about those things and drive through the neighborhoods. Just because something says, you know, on Realtor.com that it's quiet and serene doesn't mean that it necessarily
I can remember
is.
when I first moved here and I said, oh, this is so pretty. When I got there, I said, oh my goodness.
I'll tell you something else that is pretty unique to Pensacola is the air noises that we have because of things like the Blue Angels and because of all the other things over by the Navy base. Some people, that doesn't bother them. Some people move here and that's, you know, offensive to them.
Right.
So get that paperwork from the seller. See if they have disclosed it, that you're in that air traffic area.
But let me tell you something was funny. Well, now I'll tell you about my house was by the airport, the first one I bought.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I was like, all I hear. But then you get in tune till you don't even hear it.
Right.
I mean, I had to get accustomed to it because every time I could tell the plane when it was coming in or going out, I was like, okay, you know, couldn't sleep. But after a while, I got conditioned because you learn every noise about your house anyway. You learn every about your house. If something else, a picture fell off my wall on the other end of the house. Wait a minute.
You heard it?
I heard it and I said, wait, what was that? I checked my security camera. But can you imagine me in my house going through this room like this? I mean, suppose if it had been, why am I peeping? No, but it was a painting that had fallen, a frame, a picture that had fallen off the wall. Right. You get to know the sounds of your house is what I'm saying. We're going to talk more with Maggie about how you can be the next homeowner, how you need to own your own home right here when we talk about it more on Sunshine's Corner.
My name's Kelly McLeod. I'm the owner of Bella Magazine. Bella is a source of uplifting and inspiring content for the women of Pensacola.
I think the magazine is just so thoughtfully done. There's a lot of attention to detail. The stories are really good.
You've got seriousness, you've got fun, education, fashion. It just encompasses everything.
Women are multidimensional, and so is Bella.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
At the Hearing Center, the journey to better hearing is unique. A medical model and a personalized, high-quality patient experience is the perfect combination for your hearing health care. Our audiologists take the time to listen and help you understand, while using research-backed practices for the delivery of hearing aids. Choose a professional, not a product, for the best hearing possible. The Hearing Center, a better experience because it's your experience.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
So you can get somebody to call you. And I'm just singing, oh, I'm back. Welcome back. What was that? Welcome back, Carter.
Welcome back, Carter. We're old.
No, we watch reruns.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's it. We watch. Don't make me stutter here, Maggie. We watch reruns, girl. Look, somebody has a question here.
Okay. Let's see if we can answer it.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. This is our...
Good morning.
But one of my sisters. Okay.
Okay. You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
I said home buying is one of my favorite subjects.
Oh, good.
Years ago, I was told I could never buy a house. Nobody would sell me a house. But that was a lie. I've been in my house 30 years.
Look at that.
So, so every time I run up on somebody that's paying rent, I had a friend that was paying rent in the same house for 11 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I was shocked. I said, you can pay rent, you can buy a house.
Exactly.
You can.
Right.
That's
you
what
can
I
pay
get.
Rent, you can buy a house.
I I try to get people to do the same thing, to buy a house.
Yeah. Well, most people don't want the responsibility, but it's not really that much of a responsibility. But, you know, the easiest way is sometimes not the best way.
That's right.
I'll encourage everybody. I told a girl last night she ought to be buying her house. So,
see?
Tell her to call
you
me.
can do it.
Tell her to call me.
You can do it by yourself nowadays.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes. Listen, I helped a older gentleman. He was 80 years old. We got him a 30-year mortgage. He won't ever see the end of it, but he's in a house. And he's happy. And that's what
but that's okay.
80.
He might, you know,
That's
he might
what
be.
he wanted.
He
That's
might
what he
live like
wanted.
Noah. He might be 900.
Right.
But I tell you. But you know, I think that's the same thing I do now. The reason why it just hit me night before last, I said we need to talk about this because so people can invest in themselves. Because this is something that, just think about that. She's been in the house 30 years, and look at that. She's telling everybody still. Right. Don't fear the unknown. Get out there and step on it.
That's
Walk
right.
on that water.
That's right. I can, I am, I will.
Amen.
The reality hits when you written somewhere and somebody tell you got to move.
Oh yeah.
And that hurts bad.
I tell you, especially this lady, if somebody been living in a house that long.
Yeah.
How can you stay in that house and say, okay, no, you got to go now because I want to sell it. Now I got to pick up and buy somewhere. You got to get all settled in it. That's got to be hard. You've been in that house that long. No way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It can happen.
I should have been a realtor, but I'm not. But
Well, you're living and breathing. Come on, get your license. I'll work with you. I'll be happy to.
I'll tell you, my girl, Ardelia. Thank you, Ardelia. I appreciate you so much. All right, bye-bye. But you see, that's a good thing. You see, she shared her story about what she did, and now look at her. You know she's been in the house 30 years. She's paid for.
Well, the other thing is, you know, there's reverse mortgages now. So when people get older, if they need that money, they'll go ahead and pull it out, still stay in the home, and they can pull that money out. I'm not an expert on this, but it's a good reason to invest in a house in some cases. Once they have paid it off, then they can take that money out.
When Tom's talking about that, he's telling the truth.
So in the circumstance like they need $5,000 a month to live on, but their Social Security and other money is not that.
Right.
It's less. They can draw down on the house equity, and then whenever they pass, then whatever is left, then the organization that gave them the reverse mortgage, then they have the asset, or depending on how the contract is written up. But that is a way to pull out what, again, it's been providing you shelter for all your life, but now at the ending time of your life, you still have an asset that you can pull out of, and you still get to stay in the house.
Absolutely.
So that works
you know
for
what?
some
I've always watched Tom Selleck when he does.
It must be true if Tom said it, right?
Tom Selleck. Ooh, I think that's one attractive man. But anyway, when he does that, he said, and he puts his hand in his pockets. I've always wondered how that works. And then with you to break it down like it is, so when you see Tom Selleck talking about that, listen, he's okay.
So it's something to check out, but you don't have that opportunity if
Right.
you just paid rent for all your life.
That's right.
And you don't have any equity built up. And equity, that's the value that you have put in that house that is yours. So
That's
say
right.
that you have a house that's worth $300,000, then that is your equity in the house if it's paid off. That's the value that's sitting there. That's your equity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, please come and talk to Maggie. She can break this down better.
Yes, and I'm in Ingalls and Folkers, which is at 190 South Jefferson Street, downtown. That's where my office is.
Right around the
and
corner.
in Gulf Shores at the wharf. As I said, I'm licensed in Alabama and Florida, so I work in both of the locations.
See, this girl,
Yeah.
when I met Maggie, she was going over there at
yes.
Wind Creek.
That's right. That's right.
That's how we met. I mean, but that's been a long time. But to say that, and I say that you have built a very strong accountability with your name. Your name means a lot, and you know you can build on that. Don't be that person that when they mention, you know what I'm saying? Because that can easily happen if you don't take the right step. Because I've been in certain places when you hear people say something, and they will go, "Oh no, not that." Build that trust. Trust and a foundation is the key to the world.
You have to do that. I don't care what business you're in.
I don't care what business you're in. If I can't trust it and find your name.
And that trust, you're right, it goes from one thing to another that you do over your lifetime.
Exactly. And you'll be amazed how many people that you don't know that's watching you.
I'm telling you, I had it happen yesterday. Somebody came up to me and said, I've been trying to come across the room all day to speak to you, and gave me a kiss on the cheek, and I thought,
hello. I mean, I say that because I went to, was at the dinner for the gubernatorial candidate that I got invited to Monday night. And the conversation in that room with me, I mean, just, I could hear. It amazed me of what people, how you need to build for yourself. And make sure you got it good. Keep your name clean. I can't believe we ain't got but 2 minutes, Maggie. Darn, it went so fast. But ladies and gentlemen, this show is going to come back this afternoon at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you didn't get the chance to see it today, you can watch it this afternoon. Find out what you need to do. Prepare for your future. When she said an 80-year-old man closed on his home on a 30-year mortgage. Come on, people, there's nothing that you can't do. So if you're 40, don't feel like you're old. 40. Don't feel like you're old.
And do it early. Do
Thank
it early.
You. Earlier the better.
You're not going to do it any younger.
Because it's not going to happen.
That's right.
Not at all. But Maggie, thank you for agreeing to talk with me about this, because I think that the more we educate the community, the more we give the community knowledge. Knowledge is power. And once you take that knowledge, apply it. We talked about this. Now use it for your betterment.
Right.
Use it for your betterment so that you can have something to leave a legacy behind from you.
Right. And to better your own lifestyle now.
That's what I'm talking about. So these conversations that sometimes you may say, oh, she's talking about that. Yes, because it's something that's important to you. If we don't talk about it, who will? If not today, then when? Let's learn to do that, to uplift one another, to help everybody when they're needing something that's going to better their future, like owning your own property. I tell you, I can't believe our hour is up, but I can't say thank you enough.
Of course.
I cannot
Thanks for
say
having
that.
me here.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
I hope I've helped someone today.
I believe you did. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here, and I've got to get ready for my next step.
Speaking engagement.
I got a speaking engagement coming up at 11:20ish. Ladies and gentlemen, leaving you as I do every day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. Handle it like that, I guarantee you, you're going to be a total success. So until 9 a.m. tomorrow, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Have a great day.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.